I've always wondered what it would feel like to walk into my parents' home and be seen. Not just noticed, but truly seen. The way sunlight catches a prism and scatters color. I'm Brianna, 28, a mother to Thomas and Grace, wife to Eric, who's as steady as the oak in our backyard. We live in a modest house 120 miles from where I grew up, a small American town where the air smells of pine and possibility. My parents, Dennis and Marlene, live in a world of their own making, one where love is measured in neatly folded laundry and silence is louder than praise. Growing up, their affection was practical, a lunchbox packed with precision, a shirt ironed to crisp perfection. Hugs were rare, words of warmth rarer still. I thought that was normal. Assumed every family spoke in gestures instead of words. Now, as an adult, I try to stitch us together with weekly phone calls and visits every other month. I packed Thomas and Grace into the car, their chatter filling the 2-hour drive, hoping this time my mother might ask about my bookkeeping work or my father might look up from his newspaper. But the visits are always the same, polite, like stepping into a stranger's parlor. My mother steers the conversation to Safe Harbor's weather, her garden's zucchini yield, the neighbor's new fence. My father asks Eric about his job. Never mine. His eyes fixed on the sports section. Eric says it feels like we're visiting acquaintances, not family, and I nod, though the truth stings. They're not rude, just indifferent, a quiet dismissal that settles like dust. Then there's Ryan, my younger brother, all charm and easy smiles. He lives closer to them, his life a whirlwind of spontaneity they adore. When they speak of him, their faces glow, a warmth I've never quite touched. They don't mean to compare us, I tell myself, but the contrast lingers, sharp as a winter gust. I keep calling, keep visiting, keep hoping, because that's what daughters do. I'm not sure if it's love or habit, but it's all I've known. And for now, it's enough. The first weekend of December 2024, I dialed my mother's number, my breath catching as I asked if we could visit that Saturday. Her pause was brief but heavy, a hesitation cloaked in, "We're having some people over, but come if you don't mind." I should have heard the warning in her voice, but hope is a stubborn thing. Eric and I packed the kids into our sedan, the 120-mile drive humming with Grace's songs and Thomas's questions about snow. When we pulled into my parents' driveway, Ryan's sleek car and Vanessa's SUV gleamed under the streetlights, laughter spilling from the open front door like a melody I wasn't invited to sing. Eric gave me a small shrug, his eyes saying what I couldn't, this wasn't our place. Inside, the house was a postcard of festivity garland draped along the banisters, a cinnamon candle flickering on the mantel, the skeleton of a Christmas tree waiting for ornaments. My parents, Ryan, Vanessa, and their 3 kids crowded around the dining table, cider mugs steaming. "Brianna," my mother said, her smile too wide. "You brought the children. How lovely." No one rose to greet us. Ryan nodded, mid-story about a ski trip to a Colorado chalet, while Vanessa, in a cream sweater, showed my mother photos on her phone, her laughter bright as crystal. I ushered Thomas and Grace inside, Eric hanging our coats in silence. My kids hovered at the room's edge, their quiet observance louder than words. They knew this wasn't their space. My father tossed Thomas a distracted, "Hey there," without lifting his eyes from his paper, while Grace got no glance at all. Ryan's youngest, meanwhile, perched on Dad's lap, crumbling a cookie. My mother fussed over Vanessa's coat, calling her my elegant girl, a phrase that pierced me. I set a tin of gingerbread cookies we'd baked on the side table. "We made these together," I said, but my mother barely looked up. "We've got plenty of sweets." "Dear," Eric's hand grazed my arm. His whisper, "Don't take it personally," a lifeline I couldn't grasp. Vanessa flaunted a designer bracelet, and my mother gasped as if it were a relic. I sat, a spectator in my own family, watching my kids try to join their cousins, only to be edged out of a tablet game. We left after an hour, the festive glow dimming behind us. In the car, Thomas's voice was small. Mum, did we do something wrong? My throat tightened. No, sweetheart, not at all. That night, a voicemail from my mother waited, her tone soft, almost fragile. Brianna, your father's car is making that noise again. We don't have the extra right now. If you could help, we'd be grateful. I stared at the phone, the warmth of her voice clashing with the chill of the day. Ryan's wealth vacation homes. Luxury cars loomed in my mind. Why me? Why always me? I didn't ask. Not yet. But the question burned, a spark I couldn't extinguish. The voicemail lingered like frost on a window pane, my mother's soft plea for car repair money chilling my resolve. By Monday, I sat at our kitchen table, the laptop glowing with our bank account's modest balance. Eric brewed coffee, his silence a steady hand on my shoulder. I typed in $1, $500, my fingers hesitating before hitting send. The transfer was a reflex, born of years answering their delicate requests for a water heater, prescriptions, once even their dog's surgery. Not obligation, but a daughter's quiet vow to prove her worth. Hours later, my mother texted, "You're a blessing. Sweetheart." Thank you. That word sweetheart unraveled something in me. A thread of hope I hadn't felt since childhood. Maybe the coldness of Saturday's visit was a fluke, a moment lost in holiday bustle. Maybe they'd see me now. I threw myself into Christmas preparations, the hope rekindling like a candle's flicker. In the evenings, I baked spiced apple muffins with Grace, her giggles dusting the flower-strewn counter. Thomas doodled a snowman for a card, his tongue peeking out in concentration. I poured hours into a photo book, arranging snapshots of our year-messy pancake mornings, school plays, hikes through autumn leaves. It wasn't just a gift, it was a bridge, a way to say, "This is us. Please know us." I mailed the muffins and card, imagining my mother's smile as she opened the package. Christmas was unspoken but certain. We'd always gone, braving snowstorms, fevers, anything. This year, after my help, they'd want us there. I was sure, but hope came at a cost. That night, I pored over our budget, trimming grocery lists, less fresh produce, no treats for the kids' lunches. Eric didn't complain, just kissed my forehead, his eyes soft with understanding. "You're carrying too much," he murmured. I smiled, but my chest tightened, the weight of their indifference pressing harder. Still, I clung to the vision of us gathered around their table, Grace in her red sweater, Thomas sharing his drawings. I planned to bring pies, maybe that cranberry chutney my mother once praised. The photo book would sit under their tree, proof of our love. It was early December, and the holidays stretched ahead, a canvas for reconciliation. I told myself the sting of Saturday was my sensitivity, that their arms would open soon. Eric watched me, his silence louder than words, and I wondered if he saw what I couldn't, that hope, like frost, could melt under scrutiny. The week before Christmas, our home buzzed with a chaos I'd grown to cherish. Eric wrapped gifts on the living room floor, tape sticking to his fingers, while Thomas and Grace scribbled cards at the table, their crayons scattering like confetti. The tree sparkled. Cinnamon buns cooled by the window, and I checked the photo book's delivery status, bound, labeled, ready for my parents. I mused aloud about driving down Christmas Eve, staying through the 26th, bringing pies and chutney. Grace chirped, "Can we wear our matching sweaters?" I nodded, picturing my mother's approval. The phone rang that evening, my mother's name glowing on the screen. I answered, heartened, expecting her to confirm our plans. "Brianna, are you still coming for Christmas?" she asked. Her voice clipped. "We were thinking the 24th, staying a couple of nights," I said, words tumbling. "The kids are excited." And I made the photo book. She cut me off. Ryan and Vanessa are bringing friends from Aspen. They'll stay over. And with all the kids, it's too much. The house is full. My breath caught. The room tilting. We always come. I whispered. She chuckled. A sound like breaking glass. It's a tight squeeze. Sweetheart, maybe January. Just us girls. The call ended, and I stared at the gift pile. The photo book mocking me. Eric's eyes met mine. His silence, a question. We're not going. I said, voice hollow. Thomas, in the doorway, asked, Did Grandma forget us? I shook my head, unable to speak. 3 days later, the phone rang again. My mother's voice was syrupy, asking for $2. Some dollars for an orthopedic recliner for my father's back. I closed my eyes, the words spilling before I could stop them. You want me to pay for it? I sent $1. $500 2 weeks ago. And you didn't let us come for Christmas. Her pause was icy. I explained. The house is full of Ryan's friends. My voice trembled. Not just his family friends. We weren't even a thought. She bristled. Ryan works hard. He needs the break. So do I. I snapped. But you don't care. You call when you need money. And I send it. Always. Her tone flattened. You're being dramatic. The truth poured out. Sharp and unyielding. You don't ask Ryan for money. Do you? You ask me because I won't say no. Silence. Then, deliberately, she said, Ryan brings joy. You bring stress. We love his family more. They're alive. Polished. Cheerful. You're always watching. Waiting for something to be wrong. We helped you college. Your first job. You owe us. My lips parted. A cold stone sinking in my chest. I owe you. Her voice sharpened. Yes. Brianna. Family steps up. I hung up. The words echoing like a slammed door. That night. I sat by the fireplace, the photo book in my hands. Its pages held our laughter, our love. Thomas's gap-toothed grin, Grace's muddy boots, Eric's quiet smile. I opened the cover, then tossed it into the flames. It curled, blackened, and was gone. 2 days later, my mother called again, her tone falsely bright. Maybe you could come alone. Stay in the guest room. Vanessa wouldn't mind switching. I gripped the table. You want me to leave my family for a guest room promised to your favorite child's guests? That's not an olive branch. It's humiliation. Before she could reply, I hung up, my hands steady, opening our banking app. I canceled the $200 monthly transfer I'd sent for 4 years. Eric entered, rubbing sleep from his eyes. Everything okay? I'm done, I said. The words, a vow. No more money. No more favors. He wrapped his arms around me, whispering, Good. I've been waiting for you to say that. The tree lights blinked, and for the first time, I felt the weight lift. A fragile freedom taking root. The ashes of the photo book were cold by Christmas Eve, but our home glowed with a warmth I hadn't expected. Eric strung extra lights, their soft flicker dancing on the walls, while Thomas and Grace built a blanket fort, their laughter a balm. We baked cookies, the edges singed but sweet, and played board games until midnight, the clatter of dice louder than my lingering doubts. Yet, 3 days before Christmas, Grace's morning question, are we still going to Grandma's, pierced the joy? Her eyes searching mine, I knelt, brushing her hair back, and promised we'd make our magic. The words steadied me, but the silence from my parents gnawed, a void where their voices used to be. On December 29th, scrolling through a recipe blog, I stumbled onto Ryan's public profile. A photo stopped my breath, my parents' living room, aglow with holiday cheer. My father on the couch with a wine glass, Ryan beside him, Vanessa perched elegantly, their kids tumbling nearby. My mother stood in the background, cradling Ryan's youngest, her smile radiant. The caption read, Grateful for family, nothing more important. No trace of us. as if we'd never existed. I scrolled further, a video of them singing by the piano, a snowball fight in the yard, my mother toasting the whole family under one roof. The word whole burned, a blade twisting in my gut. I snapped my phone shut. The festive images searing my resolve. Ryan called that afternoon, his voice breezy. Hey, sis. Mom's confused about how long you'll stay upset over Christmas. I let the silence stretch. She said you're sensitive, that it's not worth holding on to. He added, chuckling, you saw the photos, right? It was relaxed. A proper family. My throat tightened. A proper family because we weren't there. He sighed. Dismissive, don't twist it. Mom tries. And Dad's not getting younger. She doesn't need drama. Drama, I echoed. Voice low. Being told there's no room while you host guests isn't drama, it's erasure. He offered a hotel stay next year. A hollow fix. No. Ryan, I said. Steady now. She got no stress. No me. No reminders of the family you all prefer. Shiny. I hung up. My pulse even. The call a final thread cut. Pressure mounted from others. Aunt Carol texted. Your mother's heartbroken. Family matters. Cousin Linda called. Her chat veering to, life's short. Let it go. A letter arrived. My mother's script clinical. You're choosing estrangement. We gave you everything, a roof, an education. You have responsibilities. No mention of my kids, Eric, or remorse. Just debt cloaked as duty. I folded it into a drawer. Its weight no longer mine. Then, mid-January, my mother called. Her tone cool. Your father's medical bills piled up. Nothing serious. Just expenses. Can you help? I pressed my temple. I stopped pretending things are fine. She scoffed. You're dramatic. No. I said, firm. I'm done giving pieces of myself to be tolerated. The silence held no power over me. I hung up, blocking her number. Then Ryan's. Then my father's. Each click, a stone in a wall I'd finally built. January thawed into February. The silence from my family no longer a wound but a quiet expanse. Like snow blanketing a field, our home hummed with small joys, movie nights under quilts. A new sage green paint on the hallway walls. My bookkeeping clients growing as I set firm boundaries. I bought daisies at the market, their petals bright against our kitchen's worn table. A gift to myself without guilt. One March afternoon. Ryan emailed. No subject, can we talk? Not about Mom. Curiosity nudged me to a park bench. The air crisp with spring's promise. He sat, his expensive jacket out of place. His confidence dimmed. Mom's upset. But she's not calling. He said, I think she knows you're serious. I raised an eyebrow. That I'm not her bank. He shifted. Admitting. Dad's fine. No back pain. No recliner needed. They never asked me for money. The truth settled. Not a shock, but a release. Like a knot untying. I'd carried their burdens, thinking it proved my love, only to learn it was a lie they'd woven. I'm done chasing people who won't look. I said, more to the wind than him. Ryan nodded sheepishly. You seem lighter. We parted without fanfare. A nod. And I walked away. The park's budding trees a mirror to my renewal. That evening, I deleted their messages, my parents. Ryan's each swipe a step into clarity. I texted Eric, let's plan Easter. Just us. Our real family. His reply, a heart emoji, warmed me. Easter planning brought Grace's whisper as I tucked her into bed. I liked Christmas at home. Can we do it again? I brushed her cheek, promising. Every holiday. Sweetheart. Just like that. The hallway's dim glow wrapped us. A cocoon of our making? I began journaling again, words spilling like seeds. Each page a reclaiming of my voice. My sleep deepened. Eric noticing with a grin over morning oatmeal. The house, once heavy with unspoken pleas, breathed easier. Filled with laughter over burnt toast and Thomas's lopsided paper kites, I didn't check my mother's social media or family threads. Their absence a gift, standing on our porch, watching Eric and the kids chase fireflies, I felt peace, not fleeting but rooted. A garden I'd tended at last. As spring bloomed into April, I sat on our porch, a mug of chamomile tea warming my hands, the soft hum of crickets weaving through the evening air. The journey from that December chill to this quiet moment taught me a truth I'd long buried. My worth isn't tethered to those who refuse to see it. For years, I poured myself into my parents' expectations, believing love was earned through sacrifice. $1, $500 for a car, $200 monthly transfers, endless visits met with indifference. Each act was a plea for their approval, a hope that my efforts would carve a place in their hearts beside Ryan's effortless charm. But their words "you bring stress. We love his family" more shattered that illusion, revealing a ledger of obligation, not affection. The pain of their rejection, sharp as frost, forced me to confront the cost of my silence. I dimmed my light, clipping coupons and trimming dreams to fuel their needs, thinking it made me good. Yet, in the ashes of that burned photo book, I found clarity. Love doesn't demand depletion, cutting ties, blocking numbers. Ignoring their letters wasn't anger but necessity, a reclaiming of my voice. Grace's smile as we planned Easter, Eric's steady hand in mine, Thomas's laughter over kite strings. These were my family, my true north. I learned to choose myself, to buy daisies without guilt, to journal my truths, to build a life where peace isn't borrowed but grown. The lesson wasn't just letting go, it was understanding that I am enough, not for what I give, but for who I am. That truth, like the cricket song, hums steadily now, guiding me forward.